There's a method called the LEAP method, LEAP. It stands for listen, empathize, agree, and partner. And so when you're speaking to somebody that has anosognosia or is experiencing some type of delusions and psychosis, the tendency for a lot of families is to want to say, hey, this isn't happening, right? Like you don't work for the president. The FBI is not after you, right? You haven't solved world hunger, right? Like no one's trying to hurt you, you know? Various like kind of common delusions. A big one when I worked in a crisis unit is that people thought they were Jesus, right? And so it was very common. And so, it's the temptation is to say, listen, that's not true. Like, you have a mental health issue, you need to take medication. But again, to them, it's as true as, what you're seeing on the screen right now is real, right? And so you can still listen, you can empathize, right? Those you can do without challenging them and telling them what they're feeling and believing isn't real. You can agree. And when I say agree, it's not that you agree necessarily that what's happening to them is true, but you agree that it's really hard for them. Wow, right? So somebody feels like they're being so a big delusion is like a persecutory delusion. So like, if they believe they're being persecuted by the FBI, you can agree that like, oh wow, Trey, it's really hard. Like, tell me how that feels on a day-to-day basis, right? As opposed to being like, look, the FBI is not after you. Why would they be after you, right? Or you're not also agreeing that it's true, but you're agreeing that it's really difficult for them. And then, last thing is partner. So you want to listen, empathize, agree, partner, and kind of partner with them to try and understand that like you're there to try and like keep them safe and to help them. Um, and now, of course, right, like that's a good, method to try and motivate somebody to start to participate in their treatment, build rapport, build relationships. It takes time. And now listen, there's a whole subcategory which we don't necessarily need to take like a huge deep dive into, but is, if somebody is so acutely psychotic that they're a danger to themselves or others, right? Then, we can look at, different options for involuntary care to keep them safe. And certainly not like, it's not a fun part of the job. It's not anything that anybody really wants, but it is often necessary when, someone's safety is in question or other people's safety.